Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Sunday afternoon. Hey, Kezra, it's nice seeing you here too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have been on StreamYard all day already today. So this is just another moment in a regular old Sunday. No, guys, please, no, don't be spiteful. No spoilers on the game, right? I'm sure DeTulio will be texting me a lot, especially if it's going bad, but no spoilers. After
That's
this,
right. No,
I want 15 minutes of just acting like like just a relaxed drinking a beer, happy Sunday American. I just want to watch 15 minutes of football.
I understand. I got about 15 minutes in yesterday. I thought you were actually going to say about the Heritage auction or something, but no, we're talking football here.
Yeah.
Don't spoil that one either, right?
Now you can spoil the Heritage auction. I already see people having to tear themselves away and all that stuff. Yeah. No, the Modoc Gallery West Coast is a surprise in 2027. I figured by then we might be considered legit by a few people, and then I want to ruin it again and start over.
That would be the way to do it. Oh man. Well, we have today we're going to be doing several introductions, and we're going to be doing some reveals as far as the special galleries that we've got, and even revealing a few of the events around the show that we've not yet talked about. So we've got we felt a standalone show on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon it would be perfect, and that's what we've got here today. And so to kind of kick things off, we have a collector that some of you may have heard of. He's had a calf gallery for a while. I'll put a link in the chat so that people can go check it out while we're talking. But let me bring in Markus Rohrwild. Good afternoon, Markus.
Hi, everyone.
Well, it's nice to have you here. Where are you at right now? What part of the world are you in?
Yeah, I'm in Switzerland, close to Basel. Yeah, and thanks to starting the show a little bit early. Due to the time difference, it's 8 p.m. now for me.
Well, I've admired your calf gallery for a while, but also, like we were talking about in the green room, you had an exhibition at the Windy City Con for, about mid 2024, and a couple people shared video clips of walkthroughs of that, and it was spectacular. You have an amazing art collection, and Kezra and I were really excited when we reached out to you to find out whether or not you could exhibit, we could have some of the pieces here at the show, and now we can let everybody know that we're going to have a lot of artworks from your collection on display.
Yeah, it will be amazing. Thanks for the opportunity.
What's we've been trying to, well, I don't want to go there, but illustration wise, as you know, we have the IAX show that's housed within our OAX this year, and it was really important for us to not only have artists represented within that hall, but to have collectors as well who have been in this field for a very long time. And as far as we're concerned, you're one of the top collectors out there, and we really couldn't have been happier to have you accept and be able to be at the show with us for this first IAX.
Yeah, it will be amazing.
Indeed. So
we're going to have the special gallery, but I guess we're going to talk about it. But again, just to be 100% clear, Markus will have an exhibitor booth as well inside of IAX. And if anything, a little bit of what I want to talk today when we get into it is what Markus will have at the exhibitor booth. Obviously, I've seen everything that's going to go into the special gallery room, but there's more art coming. Apparently, there's a package coming even next week. I've got a piece next to me, and if it's anything like, pretty excited to find out what he'll be bringing.
Yeah, so I have a little bit of storage in Chicago at the Doug Ellis's place, and therefore I can ship some stuff over, which makes it much more easier because everything else needs to go into my hand luggage.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's 12 artworks, if I remember right, Markus. There's 12 pieces that you're actually bringing from Switzerland for the special gallery show.
That's true.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I will bring pieces, particularly with focus on German science fiction out of the 50s and 60s. The traditional German pulp magazines like Utopia, Terra, and Periodon. So it's basically, early retro science fiction, my original focus of my collection in the last 15 years. And those are really cool pieces. So that's part of my core collection. Yeah.
Is there a time period that it covers, Markus, or is it a broad time period, or is it like 1951, 65? How narrow is this?
Yeah, I bring a relatively broad collection from 1953 to today. So to give you everyone a view on how things have developed and who has been influential in German science fiction and fantasy illustration art.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Markus. I mean, when did you get interested in collecting this artwork?
Yeah, so when I was young, I was very, very interested in science fiction. So I read a lot of science fiction. And, when you read a lot, sooner or later you start collecting books. And I had thousands of books. And at the time, my wife said I have too much old paper and I need to focus on something else. I by chance bought my first piece of art from a collector friend, which was a Periodon cover illustration from Johnny Brook. And that was about 15 years ago. And since then, it, has gone south, and I own now, a very large collection of science fiction. I usually only collect published science fiction art, so mainly covers of pulp magazines, with a few exceptions. But this is my core collection, and I live in Switzerland. Obviously, I'm German by background. I work in the biotech industry in Switzerland and in the US. So I'm frequently in the US. And through comic art fans, I've actually built a good friendship and network in the US. And Doug Ellis invited me to Windy City a couple of years ago. And now I come regularly. This is my first time at OAX. But from all what I know so far, it will be fantastic.
We expect that. Definitely. Johnny Brook is an artist whose work I've always admired too. I'm going to put the name in the chat so people know how it's spelled in case they want to look up any information about that artist and their artwork. So that in there.
Yeah. So in the special gallery, I will have artworks from Johnny Brook, Rudolf Sieber-Lonati, and Karl Stephan. Those three illustrators have done thousands of artworks for a German pulp series. And a lot of the work, particularly Johnny Brook's work, is also published in the US in Eerie magazines and paperbacks, also some of the Periodon paperbacks published by Ace, for example, are also from Johnny Brook.
Fantastic. Well, I got the link in the chat for everybody. Well, so I think a lot of us come from, an angle of collecting books and then switching over to art. There's always that one friend that turned you on, and clearly, your story is similar to many of ours. But have you ever come across things that you consider grails, like something that you had read earlier that you really wanted to own a piece of art from it, and you've been able to discover it? Because the artworks that you're collecting are, by and large, a little bit harder to come by, right? There aren't as many art dealers that represent illustration artists. A lot of times, at least in my experience, you have to go direct to the artist to buy the work. So tell me a little bit about your collecting experience in this field.
Yeah, absolutely. It is really hard to get those kind of pieces. A lot of it went to the publishers. Some of them went back to the original artists, and maybe families kept art. Some sold them. So it's like detective work. And, for me, my vision was always I wanted to have the original art for the first edition of each of the main series, like Perioda #1, Utopia #1, Terra #1. And now I own all of these. And my particular Grail piece was the cover of Periodan 1000, which is a masterpiece of Johnny Brook on this side here. It was actually owned by his widow, Bonnie, and I visited her and we talked a little bit about the great art Johnny was influencing, the great images he has created for Periodan, for example. And this is a fantastic piece. And that was from day #1, the piece I wanted. After several visits, she finally sold it to me. But the condition was I need to buy this one, but all the other ones she still owned, because she found it difficult to sell piece by piece. And I asked her, so how many do you have left? And she told me, Markus, we have to go down to the basement. And 3 days later, I left with a truckload of paintings.
Oh my gosh.
So at this evening,
Wow.
I bought 2,400 paintings.
Sorry, say
There's
again.
a documentary right there. I want to see.
I'm sorry, how many paintings?
2,400.
Wow.
So you went to the basement and 3 days later you came back with 2,400 paintings.
Yeah, I did not inform my wife in advance. I have to be honest. So, and she's really nice, and she didn't take it bad on me. So, but it was that was my first large purchase. And of course, I didn't keep all of those because I wanted a few pieces, and I shared with some other collectors. But I still have a lot of Periodan art, obviously. But this piece is fantastic. It's actually quite large. It's like 35 inches by 27. It's one of my really core pieces, and usually it's in my office, but today it's here. Yeah.
Well, that's an incredible story. I mean, you say it's one of your large purchases. You've not made a purchase for more than 2,400 artworks at one time.
No, but
Right?
but I bought also a couple hundred or 700 pieces from other collectors or somebody who was managing like a small publishing house.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually keep a few which fit into my core collection, and then I sell the others. So.
Wonderful. Do you have a website where you were doing that, or were you just kind of connecting with collectors whom you knew were interested in the pieces?
Yeah. So yes, it's just with the network, not via. It's I'm not really a dealer. I'm a collector, and I share with friends and people who know me. And it's a small but actually an active community in Germany, Austria, but also a lot of people enjoy this type of work in the US now.
Oh yeah, no, I know a few of them in the U.S. that have been at it for a while. We've done a few interviews in the past with collectors who are very focused in this area. But that's amazing, and again, it just shows a different side to what to collecting illustration art versus comic art. It's comic art is more easy to get a hold of, and like you said, you were so right when you mentioned that families have the art, publishing houses have the art. You just never know where you're going to get it, but you have to be a good detective to find it. You've been very, very fortunate. I would have loved to have been your helper that day you're packing up the 2,400 artworks there. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen again, but that was a real lucky day for sure. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, so when do you get into the States? Are you you're going to be, I would assume, here for a little bit?
I fly in on the 22nd. I think that's a Tuesday, and I still till Monday So we have enough time, and I hope to meet a lot of friends, collector friends, and artists I don't know yet. So that will be fun.
Wonderful. Now, Casper did show us a piece of art that he had nearby that I think would be interesting to kind of show off as well. We can go full screen on you, Casper, if you want to hold it up, or I could show the scan I have, but I think it's more impressive to see it in hand.
Can you see that? Let's see.
Yeah, this is a piece from Frank Frazetta. It's a prelim of painting which is called Dana. Interestingly, it was published in a Dow Chemical magazine together with a science fiction story. I really liked this piece. It was on Heritage recently. I actually was bidding on Vampirella #3 from Warren Bodie, which I really liked, but it went over 6 figures. So out of frustration, I bought a Frazetta piece, so to say.
Wow.
No, you got a good one. I remember I saw the actual finished piece to this a few years ago in Orlando, and and I read the story to it, and it was very interesting. Again, you just never know where pieces like this are going to be used or why they were used. But like you said, Dow Chemical commissioned Frazetta to do this, and you just never know how pieces like this are going to get created and then get out into the market. But yeah, I think you did all right, passing on the Bode to pick up this one.
Yeah, and I usually don't collect prelims, but this looks more like a finished piece, and I really loved the style, and it has something more science fiction to it than fantasy. But it sort of opened the door for me, and I recently bought a couple of fantasy pieces, oil paintings from Ken Kelly, Earl Norem, Manuel San Julian, Maren, and those kind of paintings really have something. Oil on real canvas is really distinct, and I love them. So that is a Ken Kelly piece. I think it's a cover of Creepy 123, a Warren publication, and in reality, it's fantastic. So if it's not too big, I will bring this one to OAX as well. I have to see whether I can fit it in my luggage.
Please buy some larger luggage. Yes. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it's actually one of the first Ken Kelly paintings. It's from 74, and I saw this one. It belonged to a collector in New York, and I really wanted it. He sold me 2 other pieces first, but he didn't want to sell this one. But in the end, I got it, so I'm really glad I have this piece from him.
Yeah, I've always loved Ken Kelly's work, and anything for early in his career is always really special to see. That's fantastic. And I would second Casper's suggestion on buying more luggage, hard cases.
Absolutely. And this one is also a real important piece in my collection. It's the cover of the first edition of Periodan. And I was looking for this one a long time as well. Interestingly, Johnny Brook painted 3 different versions of episode #1. That's because there were different printed editions over time. And this is the one for the 5th printed edition from 1982, which basically resembles part of the story when Periodan met the aliens on the moon, where everything started. It's a really an interesting pulp series. The first publication was in September 1961, and it's still published every week in Germany. It's amazing. It has a real hardcore fan community, And of course, having and owning the iconic pieces around the series is really cool. I'm still a big fan.
That's incredible that it's still in publication. And that's we don't have comic books that last 60 plus years, and here you have a science fiction publication that's managed to run that that long. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think this week episode 3307 was published.
Wow.
That's incredible.
In the US, it made it to number 140, I believe, as ace paperback. This is actually also a periodon cover, but it's from all the paintings I have, my favorite piece. It sort of speaks to me. I like the futuristic robots and the illustration of Johnny Brook here. It's very colorful. I mean, it's almost 50 years old now, I think, but it's a great painting. It's probably my favorite painting. Yeah. Not the most valuable, but my favorite piece.
Yeah, the banner in the chat said that gun, and the similar style gun to the one that we saw in the other painting. I mean, they're just so very futuristic. I mean, I love visions of the future from 50, 60 years ago when people were trying to envision where we would be. But no, these are wonderful.
Yeah, I love the dress code, of course.
Yes, exactly. He's a sitting duck with that bright colors on and everything. If he's trying to do anything.
Yeah, it's all watercolor. It's amazing that that is still so bright. Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea. That's amazing. It was watercolor too.
This one is actually the first painting I bought. It's also from the Periodon series and a nice watercolor acrylic piece. It's a wraparound cover for Periodon 700, and this where it all started. Yeah.
So what was the pivot point then for you? The friend just convinced you needed to take this piece of art off of their hands, or did you approach him about it?
Yeah, so I bought a lot of books from him because he had some of some rare pieces in good condition, and he always talked about, oh, you have to also look at the art I have, and I was I collect book, I'm not interested in art, and so at some point he just convinced me, and I got infected with looking for other pieces because those were not readily available at the time. You couldn't look into eBay or an auction house and find a lot of those pieces. So it started a lot of interesting connections with friends and new people, and that's where it started 15 years ago. So I don't collect that long, but I'm very passionate about it, and I still have this one.
Good. Now, were they an art collector too, or they were more of a book dealer and they just happened to have a piece of art?
He had a few. He actually also bought a lot of the paintings I got from Johnny Brook. So we sort of shared a lot of that art, and so he had a lot of art. But today, I think he doesn't have lots of art pieces in his collection anymore. He sold most of his pieces.
Well, this is great, and it's always good to keep the first piece you ever bought.
Yeah. So
I haven't met a collector yet who hasn't regretted letting go of that first artwork. There's always something special about that one. I've kept mine all these years. Cannot let that one go. What about you, Kazra? Do you have the first piece of art you ever bought?
Yeah. Yes.
Good.
I always will. It will never have more value to anyone but myself.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if it was a Ditko Spider-Man and it had gone from like $5,000 to $400,000, I might be tempted to sell it. Yeah, but not the case.
No, same for me. Oh boy. Well, Marcus, we're really looking forward to having you at the show. I think the 22nd is Wednesday. That's the same day I'm going to be getting into the hotel as well. So I'll keep my eyes peeled, and hopefully we'll run into each other before the show opens up. And obviously, it's just going to be a lot of fun getting to see these works in person. For me, like we talked about in the green room, uh, you know, when I started collecting, this was the kind of art that I wanted to see on my walls. And I'm just so excited to be able to see pieces from your collection in person. And I regretted not going to Windy City after the fact. I had no idea. I don't know why I don't get a lot of PR from them, but I got to see the videos after the fact, and it was like, doggone it, I've got to get to that show sometime. But fortunately, we're all going to get to see it at OAX in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited and can't wait. It will be a great show. And thanks again for having me. And I'm sure we all will have a great time.
Absolutely. All
And
right.
Marcus,
Well,
when I see you, it'll be, of course, it's been great getting to know you. I can't wait to meet in person. But I would like you to teach me how to say in German, too much old paper. I would like to learn this phrase in German and use it in the future. Okay.
I will, for sure.
Thank you. It's a very useful phrase. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Well, thank you, Marcus. It's going to be a lot of fun in a few weeks. And again, anything you need in the lead up to that, please let us know. We're going to be doing a lot of PR now that we've been able to talk about some of the stuff we're going to be showing that we'll be able to announce in the coming weeks. So I know a lot of people are going to be looking forward to seeing your collection in our special galleries and at in IAX.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Talk to you though. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. I especially love the story about the 2,400 artworks. Can you imagine?
It's unbelievable.
Going in to purchase one piece of art and being told you have to buy it all or you get nothing. That's
my brain went to, you have a moment as well, a massive responsibility. You can archive everything. You could do a series of books. You could do a show that the world would never see again because that stuff gets dispersed and it's impossible. But a moment. Did you get visual as well? Did you do the whole thing, Bill, of 2,400 pieces and trucks and kind of overwhelming?
I did.
Yeah,
I absolutely did. I can't even imagine because you got to pack it all up too. You can't just like throw it in a truck and hope it arrives safely. So that was a lot of work. There's no way he could have done that all on his own. But if he did, that's amazing. But those are the stories you dream of having happen to you and having the opportunity to actually take the shot and be able to pick up the whole collection. And wow, congrats to Marcus on that.
Bill, do you have the OAX convention map handy at all to bring up? I wonder if it'd be good just to take a look at that for a second before we go on. There be some people are watching saying, "What are these guys talking about?"
Not a problem. Let me call up the file here, and I will share it in a second. It's that floor plan. There we go. Where are we? Oh, there it is. All right, got it. Share this screen. All right. So, yeah, as everybody can see, the IAX room is really one of the first rooms that you're going to encounter when you're at OAX this year. The special galleries that we were mentioning are off to the far left of the main lobby and in the entrance to OAX. So to try to give bearing on everything. Last year, we really primarily were focused in the main exhibit hall, and we had galleries where the CAX logos are located. And the IAX logo, for those of you who were here last year, was the collector lounge and was utilized for the auction as well. So the show is now expanded to include the entire convention facility. And yeah, so we'll have we're gonna have some UR here maps out on the floor while you're walking, just so you know exactly where things are at, because you don't want to miss out on the special galleries. We're going to be talking a bit more about those this afternoon as well. And like we mentioned, Marcus will be in the IAX room. and they will be there along with our next guest too. Was there anything you wanted to say about the map in particular, Kazra?
No, just point out the special gallery room, but also that top CAX room. There'll be a large area there. That's another special gallery, of the CAX specific special gallery, and we can talk about a bit later in the.
Okay. But yeah, there's more than just the one gallery too. There's going to be another, like you said, exhibit in CAX, and then some of the exhibitors in both IX and CAX are really there just to show off pieces from their collection too. All right, so I'll go ahead and hide that, and we can bring in our next guest, who we had on once, but probably a lot of people didn't get the chance to meet Carlos Soca before. Welcome to the show, Carlos.
How are you guys?
All right.
We're good.
We're tired. We're tired. We're very tired, but
there's
we're
a lot
good.
of that going around. A lot of it. Kind of run down myself, feeling a little sick. So if my voice gives out, apologies.
Oh, you're too fit. You're too fit to be sick, Carlos.
That's right. But
Carlos is 70% is our 120%. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but I probably sleep 30% of what you sleep. I haven't been getting too much sleep lately, and that's when you get run down. But hard at work here to get stuff ready for the show. So
well, that's what we've been hearing. I'm excited because my major was sculpture. So the idea of having a sculptor exhibiting within IAX is like a dream come true. I assure you that. I mean, I regret the fact that after I got out of school, I did very little. So I have to live vicariously by seeing creators like you sculpt. So no, it's going to be great to have you here.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I didn't know that about you, Bill. Now I feel more pressure.
I was never that good, trust me. But it was something I enjoyed. But the thing is, I think this is going to be an interesting exhibitor space for us to look at, because again, the artwork's three-dimensional. It's not something that we did last year. It's not something that I think we as collectors are used to seeing when we go to a regular show. And
right.
I think that's what's really exciting about this. And I hope we're able to do more of this in the future, bring in more three-dimensional artwork, because that's that, at least as far as like statue collectors, there's that genre of collecting that's out there too, and getting originals, getting one of a kinds. I mean, that's really where you come in, being able to sculpt pieces that are essentially commission-based pieces. I know I remember from the interview that we did a little while back that you talked about that as something that you do. So I would presume during the show you'll be able to show a lot of the pieces that you've done both for yourself, but you'll also be able to talk to the collectors about the potential of them commissioning you to do some sculpts.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna bring some originals so that folks can see a variety of work. Also, I've put together a pretty nice book that I'm going to have, which shows the diversity of the work that I've done over the years. Mm-hmm. Because the beauty of commission work, obviously, we think of art, comic art in particular, as being very collaborative. Because although there are people that write the book, draw the book, ink the book, etc., color the book. Initially, just because of commerce, those jobs were broken up. And there's obviously that some of those collaborative arrangements weren't always the best, but sometimes there was this great alchemy that would occur where you would have this really nuanced rendering that the inker would bring. And I've made it clear many times, I'm a Kirby fanatic, and one of the biggest debates about Kirby, right, is who's his best inker. And for most people, it's, well, who did you see first? Because that was your first experience. But I think that when you look at it that way, like the collaboration that occurs, there's a translation of the penciled art, right? Mm-hmm. Well, when I do a commission, I look at it as a collaboration as well, because it's a different kind of commission. It's a different type of collaboration, excuse me. More like what happens sometimes between a writer and the penciler, where there's an idea in someone's head. They've they have the mise en scène already, and they present it, and you've got to bring it to fruition. With this type of collaboration between the commissioner and the sculptor, it's to the nth degree, because it's going to occupy three-dimensional space, but it's just something that exists in their imagination. And even if they bring you a reference, like, I want this cover, right, as a sculpture, well, great, that's the reference for one view, but what does it look like from the side and from the back and from above and from below? And that's the beauty and the challenge of sculpting a commissioned piece, is making sure that it looks right no matter how you're looking at it. Because it does occupy three-dimensional space, you can sneak around, you can look around, you can pick it up, unless it's massive, right? And I love that, because drawing all those different nuances out of a person's imagination and then bringing them to life creates this different kind of bond with the commissioner. And it's just a beautiful thing when they finally see it. It's usually very emotional. Now, having said all that, I don't want to show up with just a bunch of originals and say, hey, buy these. You know, some of them might not be for sale, right? So, you know, in talking to Kasra, he was like, hey, you know, let's get some other things in there to sort of expose people to your work and what it is that you do. And, you know, you start getting crazy ideas. So it's like, I'm going to put together the book. I'm going to put together these cool shirts that sort of explain, you know, what goes on in my head. So like, you know, the shirts, stickers, things like that are sort of an homage to what my influences are, where as a kid, literally as a you know, elementary school age student, I had my Kirby comics and this book of Michelangelo's artwork. So it's like, to me, Jack Kirby and Michelangelo were it. So, you know, and then
that's a good start.
Yeah, exactly. Let's start it. So, you know, it's all this mashup of outsider art in a way, because you have the great Renaissance fine artists that, you know, in my imagination, and then all the great comic artists that influence me because of their ability to tell a story. And I think that what draws me in most when I'm sculpting something is, can you tell a story with one image only? And maybe it's only one figure. It might be a diorama, there might be a second figure, but for the most part, it's, can one movement, one gesture, one expression tell a whole story? And that's always, those are the commissions that I get most excited about. Those are the pieces that I get most excited about, where it isn't like a static, what they call museum pose, where it's just someone standing. There can be beauty to that, right? There are a lot of pieces that you think of as maquettes, like a model for animators. They're gorgeous, but I like pieces that have movement, that tell a story in some way. So, you know, after initially speaking to Kasra, I said, oh, all right, although a lot of these pieces were not created to be duplicated, right? They weren't really sculpted in a way like when I used to work in production stuff for toys and the hobby industry and some gallery work. When it was something that was going to be mass produced, you have to think about how it's going to pull apart into pieces, right? For molding. A lot of these pieces weren't done that way because, you know, I thought I have license to make up whatever crazy thing, as long as I can engineer the thing to hold itself together and balance, no problem. But technology has advanced, and so I was able to scan some of the pieces, and then that exist in a 3D environment. They can be printed in different sizes and cast and molded in different sizes. And so that's opened up a whole avenue to make some of my work more affordable for someone who might not be thinking of a commission, but might be jazzed about something. So I'm working right now on a set of mini busts. They're pretty cool. I'll show you a work in progress, which I wouldn't normally do, but it's because it's you guys and whomever else might be watching. So they're pretty neat, and I'm going to be painting them like marbleized. They're quite heavy. So, you know, this is still going to have some more painting. But to give you an idea, they're basically in groups of 2. And this is Iron Man from a famous Tales of Suspense cover. And it's pretty cool. Got to give a shout out to my man, Jack. So it's got a Jack Kirby quote that kind of goes with the character. The Silver Age logo, and then an iconic logo. Hopefully this is showing up.
It is. No, that looks great. That looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
yeah, all the times we talked, you haven't shown me that. That's amazing. I love that.
Well, they're just starting to come in,
job,
so they're just starting to come in. That's why I'm in the midst of painting them.
Did you say there's a second one?
They're going to be 4. They're going to be 4. This
Avengers?
is a Thor.
Yes.
And what I I didn't want it to look like any other mini bus that's out there. And because the name of the company and the logo, it's my company's Manifest Sculpt. The idea being, we're going to manifest whatever's in your imagination as someone commissioning a piece. And so the logo is the M and the S stacked, supposed to look like a hand. So I thought, oh, I like that. I like the theme. So all these guys, there's something special, like one hand that's free. And then the idea with the shape is that you could bookend them because they're going to be sets of 2. Oh, and so this is the right side of 2 of the pieces. I'm going to keep the other 2 under wraps, and they kind of go together thematically, and you'll see them at the show.
Carlos, so, you're going to hand paint some of those?
These are all hand painted. I'm painting each one. I'm painting them like with a faux marble paint job, but everyone is meant to be different. And perfect. Then
because they look great raw. They look really good raw.
Yeah. I mean, I like the look of the marble. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
This is going to sound strange. I love garish colors, the comics, the Silver Age palette. I'm going to be doing a series of pieces, full size of those pieces that are going to be painted as if they're comic panels, full color. Yeah. But for these, that sounds strange. Like, I like the gravitas of them, like bookends. And so I thought, I want them to look like marble, man. I want you to feel like this sucker weighs a little bit. I don't know, how great it is to hold up books because he's not too tall. But, if you put them end to end on a bookshelf, I thought that they would be kind of elegant. And when I found out that I was going to be across from the gallery of Greg Hildebrand, I thought, oh, thank God I did something a little bit classier. The last thing I need is a letter from Gene. Well, what was that stuff? Anyway, so hopefully we'll have, obviously when you're casting things, weather has an impact. It's been very cold. So the person who's doing my castings has been affected a lot by the weather, but I should have a good selection of each one of the busts. For sure we'll have several of the Iron Man busts, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have samples of the full-size statues, and we'll be taking pre-orders on those, which will be painted, fully painted, as if they're comic panels. And in the process of creating those, right, for production, the person at the company that did the scan ran off a print instead of in pieces. They ran off a full-size print, and I thought, what am I going to do with this thing? And I just sort of put it aside. And then Costa reminded me of the auction, and I thought, I know what I can do with that thing. I don't know if I can finish it in time, but I'm going to do a sketch variant. I'm working on it now. I'll show it, even though it's work in progress. And it's going to have, I've actually sculpted a base around it to make it even more unique. It's a completely different base. And to make it a sketch variant, it's, well, I'll show you. It's not going to be full color.
Wow.
Nice.
I'll take it.
So if I finish it in time, I've got some work to do on it, but it's going to be pretty dramatic. And
that's wonderful, Carlos. That's incredible. Really.
It's going to pop. And it is a labor of love and a process. It's not going to be one white. Comic pages age. The reason this shirt is cream, it's supposed to look like a Silver Age page. So I'm going to play with even the whites. I'm going to cheat a little bit, even though it's not full color. I'm going to play with the blacks, sort of cheat a gray, if it's a rendered page, maybe there's a little bit of a shading that's gone on there. So to say that it's a two-tone would be kind of fibbing, but the idea is to create that dramatic, those blacks to really pop, obviously an homage to the way the king drew. So There's going to be little things also. I was holding it because you got to hold it by the base, but the base is supposed to look like a rock, and there's a shout out to the king on the rock as well. So and Kasra was able to come, Bill. I don't know if you saw any of the images or if you took any pictures or anything, but to the Kirby Vision show.
I saw a lot, yeah.
Okay, so I had done a piece of the Silver Surfer for that show, and he can attest to the fact that he's not really engineered for production because he's standing way out on the end of his board and he's leaned way over to the side, and there's a lot of engineering that went into the piece to create that illusion. And little detail, he's basically, okay, who did that?
I did that. I pulled that one just in case we were going to be able to talk about it. So there you have it.
All right, you scamp. Anyway, there's a side view. I don't know if you on the side as well.
This was the only one I was able to get online. But if you have others on CAF, I can actually pull up that as well.
I don't think I have another on a CAF, but that's okay. I'll have a 3D render that people can look at in an iPad.
Is it on Manifest? Is it at manifestsculpt.com? Just so people can know. Yeah,
manifestsculpt.com. So he's surfing over Kirby Crackle. So there's all sorts of holes in there. I had to hide the way he's held, right? And obviously, it's perpendicular, so it's very thin. And I thought, there's no way this could be produced. It's just I changed that base, by the way, because it was going to be like a rock on Kirby Tech, and the base was starting to become. That's actually what was a work in progress shot for when I was shooting for the book and the site, and the base was overpowering the piece. It was becoming about the base instead of the piece of the figure. So I redid, and I did because Kirby would always do these Easter Island heads. So I put an Easter Island head in there. That's the base that the Kirby Crackle is sort of erupting from. And I hid his name and Roz's name in there, like Al Hirschfeld used to do with his cartoons for the New Yorker and caricatures. And, I loved it. Great. That was for the show. Well, the 3D artist that was helping part the pieces said he loves that piece. He said, when are you going to produce this one? I said, I don't see how we could produce it. He said, of course we can. And then he started telling me all these different ways to hide supports. Mm-hmm. So I'll be showing that. That's in process. And I'll be showing that on an iPad, hopefully, and if anybody's interested, take your name for pre-order because we will be producing it. Just so everyone knows, a lot of Silver Surfer statues that are out there are painted chrome or like actual silver. My vision for that is to not use those colors, to use the colors that were available for the comic. And so it will be, whites and very pale blues and all the different things that the Marvel folks would do back in the day to make him look metallic. So, I want to stay true to that. And I think a lot of what you see in the work is staying true to what the original artist's vision was, what their intent was, and what the original viewer loved about it, because that's what draws us to these pieces. So been talking with someone who wants a very particular image of Spider-Man. Have actually a couple of people that are trying to line up some Spider-Man commissions. And it's so funny because it's like, I want a very particular McFarlane Spider-Man. Well, I want a very particular Ditko Spider-Man. And it's so funny. It goes, like I said, who's your favorite Kirby inker? Well, who's your favorite Spider-Man artist? Spider-Man is a character that obviously, other than Batman, right? We're talking worldwide, the biggest. And people have a very particular vision. There's a certain image that burned into their mind, and that's what stayed. For Silver Surfer is a great one. Are you a Buscema Silver Surfer person, or are you a Kirby? Are you a Mobius? There's a lot of people who, I love Mobius as Silver Surfer, and I love that when you can draw that out of them, especially like I said initially, because you're about to turn it into a three-dimensional object. It's different. Now it's occupying your space, and I don't know. I love comic art. I love everything about comics. I love two-dimensional art. I love all the techniques that you have to use to create illusions. With sculpture, the illusion is something else. It's like, well, what's holding that up? Like the Captain America that I just showed. He's balanced on one toe when he's standing up. It's like, how does that work? I love that. And creating that motion, not have it static.
So for your sculpts, do you do a lot of drawing prelim, or do you do just smaller sculpts to kind of get into the groove, figuring out how you want to place the figure?
That's a great question. So it depends. If there's going to be a lot of engineering, right, I'm going to have to hide stuff. Yes, I have to do a lot of preliminary drawing. If it's something that's my own, also, like the person is giving me license to sort of come up with something on my own, I'll do a lot of drawings, especially because I want them to be in the process and be able to say, oh, well, what if it were more like this? Can we, so there has to be a lot of drawing. But if it's something where right off the bat, I can see that there isn't going to be a lot of engineering and there's a very predetermined image, like I want this as a sculpture, then there's almost no drawing involved. It's like right to, well, can you hold on 1 second? If I can move out of the way for 1 second, can I show you something? Okay, hold on. So I had to put these on hold because of everything that's going into prepping for this show. But like the sculpture will start just like this, whoops, as just an armature, right? And then I'll start to flesh it out. If anybody was sharp-eyed, they might know what this is. This is from a famous image of Commandee. So this is going to be a Commandee, and I don't need a lot of reference for this because there's a ton. Jack Kirby took care of the references. I don't need to draw a lot. It's just a matter of making sure the proportions are right. And this is a different clay that I'll initially start with to sort of shape out the proportions, the larger muscle shapes, none of the detail really. Just this is like sketching, like playing with the shapes throughout the process. But then as soon as I start using the material, the finishing material, which is a two-part epoxy, it's really strong, very, very strong. It's like stone. So I'll have about 2 hours to work it where it's like a clay, like a firm clay. And then after that, you basically have to leave it. Within 24 hours, it's stone. I can chisel it. I can Dremel it. I can sand it. So I can create any kind of finish. It's beautiful. And I'll have pieces in that at the show so people can experience that. I'll probably bring some little pieces so they can throw at each other and hurt each other, like a rock. It's really beautiful stuff.
We do have an insurance plan in place so that you can do that.
You guys were taking care. I thought you guys were taking care of
that. we submitted this photo in the appendix to the insurance. Carlos, you have now we just
What's
came
that?
out. Can you hear me? Am I up still?
You're breaking up a little bit there.
Yeah, you have some let's call it you have the book which just came out, copies of the book there. I think you might have some like keychain stuff. You'll have like some smaller. The whole thing is, guys, go to Carlos's booth, look at the art, talk to him. So hesitate. This is really an incredible opportunity to see the works in person. Any chance you're bringing the Ragnarok piece with you? That monster?
For sure.
Oh, guys, you see this. You have to see this. Even Walt was Simonson was. It's an unbelievable piece.
Yeah. I want to work with Walt. Walt was kind enough to write the foreword actually for the book. If there's someone, listen, if Walt could have OAX at his house, like his collection is something that has to be seen to be believed. I'm beyond jealous of it, frankly. But I do want to produce. I had initially done the Ragnarok statue. I did want to make it for myself because I'm such a fan of the character, the story. Obviously, huge fan of Walt forever, and he's a very gracious man. We are fellow alums, obviously not of the same class. I'm pretty sure he graduated the year I was born. But reached out to him through the alumni network decades ago and got to be pretty good friends. And I would love to produce that piece. Maybe we'll, launch a Kickstarter or something for it. But yeah, I'm going to bring it because I think it's one of those, it's eye-catching because of its scale. It's a big piece. I think that if it were produced, we'd have to make it, we'd have to make it smaller because
people just need to look at it. Though there's one that, so again, sorry if my internet is breaking up, I apologize. Just ask me to repeat. There's just one thing I want to make sure you get out there to anyone who's watching now, which on the commission side is that obviously you're open to commissions, but we talked about, for example, there's a lot of character collectors. You know, Stingray brought up, hey, let's talk about a Stingray statue. But like we talked about, there might be 3 or 4 or 5 collectors that love Sandman, that want a character from the book. Let's say Death, for example, right?
Right.
And that you could engage them as a group and do a small limited series with individually finished painted pieces. So be creative, guys. Go up there. There's a lot of character collectors that I know that I'm going to be pushing to your booth. I'm sure Bill the same. I'm sure the community, once they see the pieces in person, they're going to go, oh man, I never thought about getting an original 3D piece.
Right.
Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm going to bring a piece. It's not one of my favorites. It's kind of sneaking in, trying to sneak into the frame in the background. That was for a private collector that wanted to sell them at his museum. But it was going to be a very limited edition run. And it was basically, initially, it was going to, he wanted the piece for himself. Then it was, well, let's make a big enough run for my friends, like Castro said, like a small run. And then it was, well, we'll sell them in the shop. But, he was a very hands-on client where he kept
saying he was crazy. He's crazy. That's why he had that place to begin with, right?
Right. So, he made the pose much more static. However, it is a striking piece. It's a bronze. So that's something else. We can, if someone really wants to go out there, I've worked with foundries, have done even one of a kind bronzes where you sculpt directly in the wax. There's no mold. It either works or it doesn't. So that's always exciting because you're out there, right? And the work is going to be gone. When they melt the wax away, that's it. Your work is gone. So hopefully
lost wax. Yeah.
Lost wax. Yeah. It's not a joke. The name tells it all. But yeah, sometimes it'll be something like that where a group of people will sit around, we're just talking comics. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if they'd ever produced this minor character? I was always a fan of that. And that I've had projects that sort of have come to fruition because of that. Or people will say, oh man, even though this was a hit, they never made this. They never made this thing.
Yes.
And that, these ideas just stay sometimes like a little itch in the back of your mind until someone comes along and says, oh, well, we could do it. We could do it.
What's great is the art collectors, they know what they like. They know, I mean, they've seen the art, they've collected the originals, they have analyzed them in person, they've seen all the commissions over the years. They have a very subtle and exact eye. And again, there is nothing like a 3-dimensional work. It is really an exceptional, distinct thing from all the 2D art that we collect. There's so much fun.
I think that, listen, every type of art, even, whether it's music, dance is an incredible thing. Our youngest is a dancer. Dance is this amazing thing. So much work goes into it, but it's ephemeral. Even if you tape it, it's not the same. You have to see it live. It's like going to a concert. You can buy a record. I'm sorry, I'm dating myself. You could download a song, right? You could watch a concert. You could stream a concert, but being there, the experience is incredible, but it's very ephemeral. When we talk about fine art, and this is fine art, all of it, a page of golden age art is still a piece of fine art to me. And there's a different nostalgic connection that you have to that, right? Because especially if you saw it as a printed image, like, oh my God, I'm holding the original. When last year at OAX, I had 3 moments where, my wife was just looking at me because she's seen me get emotional over a comic, but she hasn't never seen me cry. I was, my eyes were getting watery a couple moments because I was holding something that I had only seen as a printed image. And it's like, no, this is the one that was held by the artist. This is the one that he drew on. This is the one that was inked. Here are all the notes. It's like, there's a different connection. But a commission piece, regardless if it's a sketch, a painting, a sculpture, that's another level of nostalgia because it's nostalgia connected with imagination. Would you draw this for me? Would you paint this for me? Would you sculpt this for me? And what you're doing is you're rendering a service that I'm sure all those people, if they had the skill to do it themselves, they'd be cranking those things out, right? So when you're doing this thing for them, but there's a beauty in that. That's not just the nostalgia. It's the reward of, I always had this thing in my mind. Now it's real. But with sculpture, I can touch it. That's the main difference. That's the main difference, to me. So I'm very excited. It's, obviously the folks that were there last year, there was a little bit of that. People didn't really know what to expect. It was exciting. My younger brother has been a CAF follower forever. And he was like, wait, it's CAF? Who's doing this? It's like, yeah, it's these guys. Oh, okay. He's going to be working the booth for me. So
good.
With me, I should say. If I have him, chances are he's just going to be wandering around a lot of the time.
Sure.
But anyway, we've grown up with that whole, I want to touch it. I want to see it. Right. And that nostalgia effect. But last year, I think that people were a little bit overwhelmed because it was the first one. And this year, it's not only has it grown, which will keep that level of excitement rising. There's going to be more variety. There's going to be different things. There's going to be the card art, the paint. There's going to be a lot more of a moreness or whatever. But I think people will have a little, not that they'll temper their excitement, but they'll be able to take in a little bit more and really understand what it is that they're experiencing, because they'll have last year's experience under their belt. It won't be the first time. It'll be like, okay, now I know how hyped to get, and I won't just get overwhelmed, and I'll really be able to take everything in, like the panorama. Like when I saw the map that you shared a little while ago, and I was thinking to last year's show, I was thinking, whoa, people are going to be wandering around again, like, whoa, it's going to take a couple of circuits.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Really we added the "You Are Here" dot to the map.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Carlos, we do have our next guest. This is the big takeaway. I can say this on his behalf. Carlos has worked his off since summer for this. It's really an incredible, unique pleasure for us to have a sculptor come to OAX. He's ready for you to see portfolio and his works, and he did sculptural works. The man has worked also very hard in his life to the point where he can do that he dreams to do. So go look at the works, enjoy the pleasure of a 3D work, be just as surprised as I was that you could commission or even own something like this. Gather the troops together and make sure you let me know what you're doing, because I might throw my hat in on a couple myself. Thanks.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the pieces in person, Carlos. I was always very jealous that Casper got to do the trip and I wasn't there, but he showed lots of photos. But
we'll go again, Bill. Yeah, we'll go again. Yeah, please, let's go again.
All right, take care.
All right, Carlos.
See you soon.
Bye.
Oh. He does a good barbecue. Yeah. Bill. We'll just go.
That's
over
right. We should have said he's local too, so he doesn't. He's not driving these statues all the way from California or something. He is in.
Yeah. Any of the times that we met up at the DoubleTree, we could have just driven over about 15 more minutes. We'll do it. We'll do that. We'll do that after OAX when we're human beings.
I'm looking forward to that. So our next guest, let me bring. Let's just do this. Hey, Rand.
It's me. Hey guys.
How have you not ever been on this channel before? We're doing really well, actually. How about yourself?
Yeah. Good. It was great to see Carlos. His piece at the Kirby Vision was phenomenal.
Yeah, that Silver Surfer, that show was phenomenal. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to come, but flying out to LA and getting over there, it was 10x worth it. That was an unbelievable show. That's the kind of show where the first thing I think is it has to be shown a second and a third time. That's how good it was. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves or cause any anxiety or something, but that show needs to travel.
Who's working on that?
Oh, good. Oh, good.
You mind pardon me for about 2 or 3 minutes. I have to go do one thing, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
So, Rand, just for the benefit of our viewing audience and those thereafter, let us know who you are and why you are here.
21 years ago, I had the idea that Jack Kirby needed a small nonprofit dedicated to promoting, preserving his work as a significant creator for the 20th century. I was working on John Morrow's website for the Jack Kirby Collector, and suggested that to him. He got me in contact with Lisa Kirby. She said, okay. So here we are, 20 years later.
20 years.
We've been rocking the nonprofit, getting Jack's work out there. Just, trying to keep the legacy going and his consideration as a major creative figure.
Exactly. And thank God that you did it. I know that one of the, well, let's call it one of the sort of public primary activities of the museum. We see you at conventions all the time, but
yeah,
archiving the works. I know you guys are there with scanners and contacting collectors publicly, privately, what have you, to be able to do that.
That's right.
That has been a labor of love. And of course, Tom was at OAX, the first one. He'll be back this year, and you'll be doing the same. But will you please, just to get the word out again on that, a lot of people are going to be descending in less than 2 weeks in Orlando. Let them know. Let them know what you do in that regard.
So we some guy, Tom Kraft, reached out to me after I had founded the museum and said, you guys should really be scanning Kirby art, because you never know when you're going to get your hands on it again, and it's just a great idea to also serve the legacy to build a digital archive. So that's what we started doing. I started bringing a scanner to San Diego Con and over to the what was that con? The Big Apple Con,
That's right.
in the city, and we've been scanning ever since. Tom's pretty much been the lead on that. He's bringing the scanner to Orlando. What, 2 weeks now? Next week?
Less.
What's the time?
Less. If we could change the date 1 week later, but it's the 24th to 26th. Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. So so he'll be there scanning. We've got 6,000 pages of Kirby original art scanned, high level archival quality. We've also we are taking care of the Kirby family's archive of the pencil art photocopies that they would make in Jack's studio before sending it off to the inkers. Unfortunately, that only started when his the inker with the most fidelity, Mike Royer, started working. So it's not like we've got a stack of pencils that Vinnie Coletta inked, but it's still incredible to be able to have scanned all those photocopies. So we've got more than 10,000 scans, pieces scanned. We scan, working with the auction houses to scan. We're getting scans from them. Who is it? Comic Link, who have the incredible animation presentation pieces. They are actually scanning them for us, or sharing their scans with us, which is just wonderful. Tom will keep an eye on the heritage auctions and be like, there's some stuff in this auction. We'll use some points. Fly to Texas for like a weekend and scan like a maniac so we can get all these wonderful Kirby pieces in our collection. So that's one of our big projects, is to just continually build that database. And it's one thing to have the files, but Tom is also working very hard on getting a searchable database together and a catalog raisonné, in addition to a database, a database of the scans we have. So there's just a lot of digital production management stuff going on.
You know what would be fun, Rand? And I'm just going to say this and move on to the next thing. It'd be fun to feed all those images into a program. We design a program and have it de-ink pieces based on an enormous amount of data. Just saying. Yeah.
Well, what's really fun too with the original art is that, I mean, you can see some folks doing it on Facebook and stuff as well. But with the original art, we scan at what we call digital negatives. So if you're familiar with photography, there's the raw file format that is the raw data that is captured by the sensor in the camera. Well, we scan the same with the raw data captured by the sensor in the scanner. Good. So it's not just the color sphere that's provided by the TIFF file. It's more than that.
Right.
Okay.
I got you.
So you when you scan something, particularly a piece of original art, not a photocopy, but with a piece of original art, you can kind of go and you really get a sense of what the pencils look like. Of course, it'd be another thing to remove the inks.
It would be actually very easy from what I'm because you're going to actually start even getting slight indentations in the paper surface.
That's right.
Able to be
That's right.
Up. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
That's fun. That is fun.
It would be. It would be fun.
The stuff you guys are scanning, it's not just published work, too, right? I mean, like you said, you're doing commissions, pretty much anything that people will bring you that you don't have in the archive already.
Correct. That's right.
So any collectors that are coming that have not handed over a few pieces for Tom to scan, if you're able to bring a few, it's always
please. Yes. Yeah, it would be a really big help.
Wow.
And we love that. Sometimes we don't even know when what somebody will just show up at the booth and be like, "I have this," and we're like, "What? Can we? You're here to let us scan it, right?" And yes, generally yes. So it's really, really great and wonderful. People have always been very helpful and generous, and please bring if you're comfortable bringing your Kirby art to the show, then bring it to the Kirby Museum booth as well. And let us scan it for a few minutes.
And text us when the art shows up at the booth so we can see it too, please.
Okay. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. How often do you have those kind of Kirby freak out moments when somebody brings something that you just didn't know still existed, or it's not going to be every show, right? But it's
not every show. It does. Things happen. A couple of times a year, 1 or 2, 3 times a year, maybe. Some be like, what? That box that showed up at San Diego that a guy bought from Roz Kirby that hasn't been seen. What? Wow. What's in here? Oh, look, it's a black and white photocopy of Jack's art for Kiss.
Interesting.
We heard about it.
As comic
never saw it
wouldn't
before.
even knew existed, right?
It's like if you look in the checklist, you'll see a note. It might have been mentioned in the collector, and it's like,
Gene Simmons was a huge fan. Yeah.
What's that?
Gene Simmons was
exactly.
a huge fan.
Yeah. So crazy stuff.
Have you had things turn up that were thought to no longer exist that you found out, that the collector still had them? I mean, there's always, rumors of different things that, books that just may have ended up in a landfill or something. So no surprises like that.
No, that doesn't ring a bell. No, I mean, okay. Tom might have better info about that. He might be able to come up with something, but for me, no, that doesn't strike a chord. Like the magical. I don't know what's missing. No, the Spider-Man pitch pages have not shown up yet.
All we wanted was just what we want is just the answer to that to be yes. That's what we want. We want to fill our heads with just yes, and we're like, oh, I wonder what it is, and for like 10 years we'll just wonder
exactly right, and you not tell us, but it's
I wouldn't. Yeah, yes. Oh, but it's all hush hush. No, I'm not going to do that.
Well, the searchable database, we're waiting for that. But
that's right.
Well, there'll be a premium level, Bill.
There There should be very much, absolutely. The low res versions are only there for the folks who can't afford the premium scans.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing some special galleries, of course, at OAX every year, and this year, and I got Rand and Tom. Thankfully, they were ready to step up and really help out in a big way. And hopefully, we'll have some more art in the future, Rand, in OAX, and we'll have you there if with any luck in 26. I know Tom will be there this time around, but we do have a Kirby Museum contribution to one of the galleries that we're gonna. I think we're announced in as little as 10-15 minutes here. Thank you for that. And we'll discuss it at that time, and people will see the piece. A very significant character created by Kirby, and a lovely action page from the Kirby Museum.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I don't even know what that is yet.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, exactly. Surprises all the time for us and for the audience.
Can't keep up. There's too much. Is there anything else to talk about, Jen? So what do you got in your mind? What's going on? Happy Sunday. It's January 12th.
Well, I will say we will be selling merch
good.
At the booth. Tom's going to bring some Kirby t-shirts.
Fundraising. Of course.
Yeah. We got to pay the bills. We have bills to pay. We have a archive space / storage unit filled with wonderful things. So yeah, we're helping pay for Tom's airfare to certain places. He uses miles sometimes, but we have
the Kirby Museum and the Hero Initiative as the two nonprofits benefiting from a portion of the auction sales as well. Yeah, and we'll talk about that more. We'll announce that all the auction info is going out here. We'll start posting those pieces, and people will be more aware of that. But those are the two organizations. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Exactly.
Their initiative, they do good work, those people.
And I have to tell you, Rand, I mean, you and Tom did a lot of work early on in the pandemic, getting the word out and doing some streams and things. And like people have talked about our channel, I think your channel provided a lot of entertainment and and good content that kind of helped us get through a challenging time. And I always wanted to have the both of you on a show sometime just to thank you for that, because yours was probably one of the only other channels that I followed. Just I enjoyed the conversations you guys had, learning about Kirby, things that I didn't even know. And so I want that. It was a rough time for many of us, but you guys helped fill the void.
Yeah.
I've told Tom that, but now I get to tell you.
That's great to hear. Thanks. You're welcome. We're trying. I'm trying to get the 2001 series started, and it's just been a challenge for whatever reason. We spent last year we did some streams, and then got caught up in the Kirby Vision show and the Sky Masters second edition book that we worked on. So we had to kind of take a break from the streams. I love the streams. They're really fun. It's great to get out there, and I mean, folks, please go check out our YouTube channel. There's so many hours of me and Tom talking about Jack Kirby, showing cool stuff, going through issue by issue of what did we do? We did the DC in the 70s, every issue, rare artwork stuff, pencils, and we're, I guess, just started the Marvel in the 70s series. And so we did the Eternals and Captain America. Right. So now we're about to head into 2001, but don't know when that's going to start. But glad to hear it.
I can tell you, Rand, I've always, I have a couple of Kirby pages, but if I buy any more, the two things I want most are a 2001 page and a Sky Masters Daily. Always have wanted, and the Sky Masters Daily has to have something inside in outer space. I want something from within a ship, right? I mean, and those are the harder ones to get, but just to have representative pieces from both of those bodies of work would be really special.
So are you restricting it to only Wallace Wood dailies?
Not really.
Or?
No,
Okay.
I'd actually, no, I would be fine without, it would be
Okay.
better.
Of course.
But yeah, but that's always been on my list.
Right.
Those two, and they don't come up often enough,
Right.
especially the 2001 stuff. So
he's asking for help, Rand. He's asking for help. Point a finger somewhere, would you?
exactly.
Later.
Point me in the right direction. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Those are good ones. When I first started getting interested in this as an adult, I bought 2 Forever People pages. That was it. Like with one of them had Dead Man on it. So it was
wow.
That was the extent of my collection, for many years. But I felt like where can I go after that? If I got 2 Kirby pages,
That is true.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, Ram. Well, we're looking forward to hanging out with Tom. Hopefully, you'll be able to come out here next year. That would be
That's the plan.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Good.
And a reminder to everybody in the chat and watching afterwards to, if you're coming to OAX and you have some Kirby art that they haven't scanned, please bring it if you can.
Yes. Okay. Thanks. See
Thanks
you later.
for coming on, Rand. Yeah.
Okay. My pleasure.
Right. See you, Rand.
Bye.
All right. So moving right along. How are you holding up, Cass? Everything good?
I shouldn't have done. I did like 3 or 4 hours of StreamYard, and then while I was doing it, meetings, and then I forgot that we were on it too. Yeah, so I'm fine. I'm wonderful, though. Thank you. I'm glad that we're turning the corner here. It's almost 3:30. We've got just a few more guests. Although the next one's really, really important to me. A lot of work over a lot of months. And we only got one of the 2 back there. We got a straggler from the West Coast, or not the West Coast. Arizona hasn't showed up yet, but good. I should probably text you this. But that quick phone call you made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything's okay.
Okay.
I was concerned. Yeah. The text message I got was a little sideways, but yeah, we're all good. We're all good.
Okay. Grab a sandwich. Thanks, Jeff. You have good advice. There's that one of the best comedic lines. Hannibal, I think he was making fun of the people that always offer thoughts and prayers, and he said something I can't see on here, but basically said, "Bring me a sandwich." It's been one of my favorite lines forever. It's no thoughts and prayers, just bring me a sandwich. So, Marcus, incredible. That's one of the special galleries. We have the Korshak collection, of course, will be the other illustration special gallery. And, people have seen Lauren and Stephen briefly on shows before. I think we're working for either Lauren and or Stephen to come on and talk to you maybe during the week on a Thursday night CAF update, right?
Right. Yeah. I believe they're going to be on with me this Thursday.
Oh, great. Oh, okay, good. That's locked in. So they're going to be bringing different pieces this year. Lauren's getting us a list because that collection runs deep. The one painting that I asked for that will be back is the Hildebrand Balrog painting. So we might as well talk about it now. One of the, if you want to call it a special gallery presentation, slightly unfortunate one, I'll call it unfortunate, is in the Illustration Art Expo, we're setting up a Greg Hildebrand Memorial booth. And I've talked to a number of collectors. We're getting some very special pieces brought in by Greg and Tim Hildebrand. And there'll be a memorial book, and we want to make certain that people pay their respects in the book. The book will go to Greg's widow, Jean, along with some photos and some video that we shoot. I'm hoping I talked to Jimmy Palmiotti, who is very, very close to Greg and Jean. And of course, I'm talking to Adam Kubert this week. And We're trying to arrange it on Sundays so that we come together there for 10 or 15 minutes and we take some photos and some video together and make sure that the book is signed and the package will go to the family. So in the IAX area, you will see a gallery, a special gallery that's functionally a memorial for Greg Hildebrand, and some incredible art. And you need to see the Balrog painting by the brothers. That was a showstopper, if there ever was one. Okay.
Exactly. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember looking over the floor plan the other day because we did a mailing within IAX. Greg's memorial, that little exhibition is going to be within this area of the hall, correct? Kind of the.
That's right. Yeah, it's within IAX. It's on the right wall, and it's a 16-foot wide by 10-foot deep booth, freestanding by itself across from all the other booths. So you can't miss it, and you certainly won't miss it when you see that Balrog painting from 50 feet or less away. It's unbelievable.
That is very true. That was one of the highlights for me in the galleries last year, to see that piece. It was spectacular.
Yeah. Jose has a wonderful collection, longtime friend of Gene, especially. He's contributing a piece or two, and Stephen down in Miami. I'll just go ahead and say it. There is going to be a second Lord of the Rings piece by Greg and Tim Hildebrand from Stephen's personal collection, as well as an incredible Spider-Man triptych. And Palmiotti and Jimmy and Amanda have a couple of candidates pieces to put in it. One of them is very personal, and they put everything away for the hurricane, and Jimmy's going and taking a look, and hopefully that will be included. And then I'm going to ask Adam Kubert if he has something, but we've got very select pieces from people that were sort of longtime friends and collectors of Greg and Tim, but most importantly, Jimmy and Adam. I'm hoping that they're involved in celebrating Greg's life.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to that. I really am. We know that Adam Kubert was like, if Greg could ever make it to the show, this is before his passing. I mean, Adam has known him for so long. He was Adam's teacher, and he was like, I would drive up there to drive them down to the show. They were that close. He loved both of them, Gene and Greg, immensely, and so just this felt right, the right time to do it, especially the fact that Jimmy was so close to Greg as well, and I'm looking forward to being able to present this to everybody too.
So the special gallery, Bill, while it's up here again, the special gallery there to the left will have 4 themed or 4 distinct galleries in it. There'll be 2 sort of illustration related that we've gone through, Markus Rohrwild and the Korshak collection, and there'll be 2 that are comic book centric or related. And our next guests are here to discuss one of those 2, if not both.
I'll bring them in.
Sure. Hello. What's up, good people?
Good afternoon.
Hey.
Good to see you again, Phil. Khalil.
Everybody. Yes, it's been a while, Bill. Always.
It has been a while.
Yes. Nice to see you, man. And in person in a couple of weeks.
Exactly. I don't feel like I've been in this room in your house before, Khalil. I don't remember seeing long boxes before and statues.
Yeah, no, they're around, and I'm moving some stuff around. It's getting cluttered, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. But yes, those are what they look like, and they are filled with what we think they are: comic books. Yes.
So hey Phil, good to see you, man. The video tease you did just recently was incredible. I showed it off to the family too. I was like, you got to see this guy. It's gonna. I know you. I don't think anybody in my family got to meet you at OAX last year, and I only got to talk to you briefly at the show. But sure. I mean, you're one hell of a videographer, and you edit better than anybody that I know. So
for sure.
Listen, he's a good DJ too.
I'm decent. I mean, listen, 2024 was good, but 2025 we're trying to get to all the money this time though. So I appreciate the accolades, but from here on out, the accolades got to come with a check. But it's all good.
I understand
for sure.
Man. But you know, it's interesting. Isn't today the final day of the Collections in
Yes,
Black
sir. Yes, sir.
exhibition? And okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought I saw that last week, but today is the
Yeah,
day.
so today is the final day of Collections in Black at the August Wilson Center. But we are going to have a closing reception. There you go. Hold that up, Khalil. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, it is.
But we're going to have the closing reception on Thursday. I'm gonna be DJing. Actually, a lot of cast from my crew are going to be DJing. So I'm gonna do my final tour throughout the to see the Collections in Black exhibit for people who haven't seen it, and for people to get that one last piece. And I got my guy Cam Chambers. He's going to be performing. It's going to be a really dope event, you know. And if you can make anybody that can make it down. If you haven't seen it, we're going to end in a grand fashion. And while we're here, I want to thank Khalil, because Khalil was such a big part of Collections in Black. You know, I met him at OAX last year through the great Brian Stillfreeze. Introduced me to brother Khalil. We hit it off right away. I was telling him about what I was doing. Next thing you know, me and him's in Dallas at Heritage Auctions, and he's giving me pieces, and we're looking at Matt Baker pieces, and some of his pieces are some of the highlights of the exhibit. And, you know, I want to thank Khalil in person in front of the whole world. You know, I really appreciate everything. And I also want to thank us, Casper too, because, you know, when I first did one of the videos when I first did them, when I came back from OAX, maybe a week or two later, Casper just hit me up and said, man, I love what you're doing, and I want you to be a part of OAX next year. So I'm extremely appreciative and grateful for that.
Talent Scout, you're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome. More than willing to help out, man. Yeah,
So,
appreciate the honestly, man, the effort. Right, this is just kind of coming from you, wanting to showcase the stuff we love in a new way for new folks. So
for sure,
more than willing to help where we can. Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you, brother.
About 8 months ago, you know, the August Wilson show was in place. So about 8 months ago, I started talking to Big Phil about OAX 25 and special galleries. And I'm like, we should do sort of Black experience in comics, generally speaking, a show like that at OAX. And of course, the first thing Big Phil says is, can we call it Collections in Black?
For sure. Hey, listen, I'm gonna throw my hat in. You already know.
Of course. So we started talking about putting that show together, and the first person that we turned to was Khalil. So we wanted to put the show together, and we knew that it would take you know, some real help. So Khalil was brought in as a co-curator. We'll call it we're all co-curating, right?
For sure.
And we've been talking and debating and looking, and for me, a lot of studying, truth be told. And it was an incredible experience. And it's really come together over the last couple of months. So we're proud to finally say publicly that we are definitely doing a special gallery show that we are calling Collections in Black, that explores the Black experience, mostly in American comics this time around, which is characters, creators, themes, storylines, milestone moments, right? Milestone moments.
Milestone.
That's right.
Milestone.
And, you know, we've been meeting more and more regularly because, you know, the time is ticking, and we've ended up coming down with an incredible array, beautiful list of art. And we can't name them quite yet, but I just want, on behalf of the three of us, thank all of the collectors that are just stepping up and responding and saying yes and going out of their way to help put this together.
Brother Kaz, if I could say something real quick, shout out to my mom in the chat, Ornita Stagger, man. She just left a comment on there, man. So that's how you know you're doing something right, when your mom jumps in on YouTube. You know what I mean? So it's real out here. That's real.
Yes.
No, but it's going to be great to be able to have this within OAX. I know that the three of you have put a lot of time into this, and I haven't really. I've only gotten the reports on the side, but I know that the effort to pull a show like this together and curate it and find the right pieces, you know, it's not easy. And I think from the things that I have heard, this is going to be a very well-rounded exhibition, one that I think everybody's going to not only want to see, but will feel proud that we've been able to pull these things together.
Sure.
You know, and again, we could never have done it without you, Phil, and again, Khalil, and just the support I'm sure that you've gotten from few other collectors out there is it's wonderful to see, and we're so proud to be able to host it.
Well, I'll say real quick, Phil. So Bill, Kazra, like I think so OAX was a huge event last year, and you guys are making it even bigger, better, broader this time around. So, you know, I appreciate the effort in terms of making this a unique experience and a unique event for us who are into art and comics, and also showcasing these new galleries and these exhibits in a way that they haven't been before there. So, I mean, I think across the board, right, for everyone that's attending, you know, we're going to be there for the art and, you know, and all the fellow collectors and the dealers and the reps and all that. But to be able to add this experience, right, in a new way, really, really looking forward to it. You know, last year there were a couple of galleries, and now we're even going even further. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it, and yeah, more than willing to help, you know, make it work.
Thank you, Khalil. Honestly, it was thank you for your help. I want to just be clear about something. All of this is being done volunteer. You know,
Facts.
Khalil and Big Phil, all their time, the meetups, and I mean, they couldn't be more passionate about it. They couldn't be more knowledgeable about it, and I've learned a lot from it. And I just think it's just going to be so cool to see it hung up. And if I'll let you guys talk some more. I want to add one more thing. We're trying to be okay. How do I put this? We want CAF. We want at OAX. We want a complete book there every year. We want you to view an entire story from beginning to end. Stand in front of it. So, you know, we were lucky enough. Wolvie Fan had a Wolverine issue 90, I think, from Adam Kubert in the gallery last year, and he had the cover, and he had the 4-page gatefolds. I think Kubert likes it called gatefolds. If you call it something else, you know, go back to school. Some incredible over-the-top 90s insanity done by Kubert with class and technique and mastery. There was nothing like it. I mean, I walked in there, and Ken Lashley was there with his wife, alone in the room, just staring at it. We had a really good talk about it last January. So looking around this year, I had some options. I had some really interesting options, but it seemed like we could double the size or the impact of Collections in Black by Mr. Sanford Green, one of our attending artists with comic art, by having him involved. And Felix was obviously very helpful with this, and we can confirm that a complete Sanford Green book will be on display and almost conjoined to the Collections in Black gallery. So it's going to take up at least half that room, that art.
And that's complete. Let me say that one more time for those. I mean, me and Khalil are kind of like real chill right now because we know about this already. But that's huge. That's huge. Somebody said Doom. No, it's not Doom. We're not. You know, I guess we're not going to say what it is right now. But it's going to be something that is
a big book,
definitively a big book. And is when you think of Sanford Green and Collections in Black, this makes sense. And you know, just the fact that we're honored to be able to have this particular entire book at the gallery is something big. And I was able to be. He was on my panel in Baltimore a couple of months ago, and I'm just I'm happy that we were able. I'm happy that Kazra was able to make this thing happen, and appreciate it, brother.
And Big Phil is part of CAF's production team. We're bringing him down. He's going to be shooting. He's going to have a pass that says, "Listen to him. Watch out." And, he does have that camera, and he has a way of making people look good when they have no business looking good.
That's true.
And we got a shot list. Big Phil, we got to go over that and carve it out so you have time to do what you need to do too. But he's going to be shooting all of this. So Khalil, Big Phil, and I will be there on Friday in the special gallery setting it up. It'll all be shot, and he'll be venturing around and hopefully making some really cool clips afterwards. So if you're not there, hopefully you'll see something afterwards.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I would say the breadth and depth was a focus, right? So as far as historical pieces, older to contemporary, modern, to spanning the artists that have had important contributions to the medium, to those that are going to be attendees, you know, kind of something for everybody, right? So I think what was cool was we had a good problem of kind of skinning things down, and we still are. So it's I thought I would just put that out there too, right? I think as far as the curation process has gone, it's been pretty fun. And also, like I said, good problem, kind of figuring out what needs to be there when you got a limited number of slots. And for those who went to Pittsburgh, I think we might have one or two maybe filled from there, but this is going to be different. So I'll just mention it's not as if we're kind of lifting the art that was at the August Wilson Center and kind of moving it here. This is a different iteration.
Right. There will be some key pieces from that. I mean, there is one particular piece that is always going to travel under collections and black.
Agreed.
But besides for that, it's going to be a bunch of. We're going to try to make it fresh each and every time if we can. I mean, there's enough culturally relevant artwork that we can do that. But to go back on what you said, Brother Khalil, I think the pieces that we're not using could be at any museum or gallery anywhere and be featured pieces. Like some of the hardest things were to say, man, we can't use this piece, or we're not going to.
Did you ever say that? I don't remember. Khalil, do you remember him saying that even once?
He said we. He said we. That's a loose we.
That was loose. That was super loose. Listen, man, I'm getting my media relations on right now. So, but no, honestly, there's certain pieces that we're like, man, we're not going to be able to use that particular piece because we need to use this piece, and we have a limited amount of space that we can use.
Yeah.
But there are some pieces that are so amazing in there that there's so many pieces that we're not using that are amazing in there. That is just like you said. I want to double back on when you said it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
You know, it's to be able to create these relationships. We're able to pull from this person, and this person, and then maybe say, you know what, we want to hold off on this piece. It's a beautiful piece. Actually, it's a piece I would want. It would be a highlight for another time. You know what I mean? And then to sit back and kind of narrow down the focus so we can have this to present a gallery that's, like none other.
So Big Phil, let's put it out because we're going to have a lot of people coming to OAX, and hopefully, enough people will see this video and some of the newsletter content we put out between now and then. But it started with August Wilson. It's going to continue with OAX, and then CAF is going to help produce. We're going to put a pitch together to put an expansive show together. We're going to pick some city. We're going to pick a location, a cultural institution, a museum, what have you. We're going to put a team together. We're going to scale this up and elaborate on the goals, and we're going to mobilize the entire community to put on a significant, long-lasting show, hopefully with some sort of, a book or like permanent, piece of printed matter. We'll keep it at that, and possibly a documentary. We're going to put the whole pitch together, and we're going to go around and we're going to see who's interested. So we look at these as stepping stones, but as far as stepping stones go, you're talking about a major cultural institution in Pittsburgh. You're talking about one of the largest gathering of narrative art collectors, period. And then hopefully something of some scale that we can take to a city that'll get broader coverage and notoriety. Okay.
And the coffee table book is coming too, but there will be other literature. I got to throw that out there, brother.
Yeah, it's illegal for now, but sure.
it is coming. But yeah, I'm excited, man. It's we these type of things don't they don't happen. And just the fact that, in the right place, the right time, the right relationships. And I want people to come, when you're buying all your art and you're enjoying your pieces, make sure you come past all the different galleries. Kazra and them put a lot of work into this year, y'all. I don't think you understand. Like if you came last year and you were like, oh, this is great. When you come this year, it's going to be like nothing you've ever seen. And to be behind the scenes and to see some of the workings with Kazra and Bill, man, it's incredible. That's all I can say. It's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, every part of OAX is really hard to put together.
Every piece.
So the reason I wanted to put it out there that there's going to be an attempt, a real concerted attempt after this is I want people to come up to us at OAX, and I want them to tell us what they got and pitch. You got something? Let us know now, because we're going to put together, you know, a professional level pitch to try to get it sponsored and underwritten. And the more people that are involved in the front end, the more significant pieces that we can attach to it, the more chance we have of it happening. Okay.
Go ahead, brother Kazra.
You know, I always I stop the needle like 5 seconds short just to keep you coming back.
No, but hey, listen, it's my experience at OAX was top notch, and like I said, I went for one day. I didn't know what to expect. Flew into Miami, drove down to Orlando.
Yeah,
met one of my, you know, they say don't meet your heroes. I met Brian Stillfreeze, and he couldn't be he's the nicest guy on the planet, to the point where I've hooked up with him outside of other cities. He introduced me to Khalil. You know, he introduced me to Khalil, and that's how we created this particular relationship. So I keep saying it. I say it over and over. It's all about creating the right relationships, and that's what we're here doing. And Collection of Black is going to be crazy. Shout out to all the other galleries. It's going to be dope too. But, Collections of Black is about to be crazy.
Yeah, it's not either or. It's not either or. It's nice you to say, but
hey, listen. Hey, Khalil,
Big Phil, when you walk into that special gallery room, what's the first thing people are going to see?
Me.
Collections in Black. See
That's
how
right.
that works, Khalil?
That's right.
You see that? Me.
He said me.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Yeah, you knew
Was that a setup? I didn't even mean for that.
You set it up. You set it up for him.
Alley-oop, there it is.
There it goes.
Yes. Well, I was just gonna say too, man. With what Bill, Kazra, with y'all, what you guys are doing with comic art fans now, and I've been to Phil's exhibition. I've been to, you know, overseas to the one, you know, some of the they're doing overseas. And it's just been really.
You mean the one that you got artwork in? Come on, man. Do this right, man. Don't do that, man. Do this the right way, man.
Some media training, yeah.
But what I was saying.
Come on, man.
Yes. The overseas exhibitions that I do have art in and featured.
First class tickets. You and your wife.
The one they flew you out to. The one they flew you out to. Come on, man.
But I was gonna say it's been cool just to hear people that are there and that are for the first time connecting the narrative origin of this stuff to what they know from movies and their kids' birthday parties or whatever else, right? I mean, it's just this light bulbs that I see happen, and it's just cool to know that that's a snowball, right? That just keeps kind of rolling and rolling with OAX, with other exhibitions, but with you're talking about setting up Kazra. So it's been cool. It's been cool to see, right? I think we appreciate it as collectors and fans of the medium, but others do, right? I mean, we're introducing more and more folks to this stuff, and it's been cool to see.
Definitely.
Well, it's been exciting to be a part of it all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are going to be coming down the pipe for us. I think everybody's going to be excited about. We're all going to benefit from it. And
man. Well, Bill, when Kazra came on, then I see Tatiana, and then I see Matt. I mean,
come on, man.
Yeah.
It was like the all-star announcement, you know,
making moves. Yes, sir.
For sure.
Got a few more.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
For sure.
But yeah, this is going to be great. And again, Phil, I'm just excited to have you there, man. And I know that I have a feeling you're going to have a lot of people coming up to you to get a clip in here or there, quote, you know. I mean, who's wouldn't want to be able to talk about this hobby that we love, be able to see the relevance that you're bringing to Collections in Black at the show. I just really think that this is going to be a kind of a big turning point for the work that we're doing, and like everything. Like we've been working so hard the last year and a half, but when OAX 2025 wraps, so many doors are going to be opening for all of us, everyone involved with what we're doing today. So I look forward to working with you more, of course. And Khalil, man, thanks for everything that you've done. You've been an incredible asset to kind of help pull all this together and be a sounding board on the work that's going to be presented at the show.
Hey, Kazra, can I ask you a question? And you know, Bill, that I've never not even heard. This is the least I've ever heard you talk on any live broadcast ever in my life, but it's okay.
I like getting to sit back and listen sometimes. Yeah.
Hey, brother Kazra, I know we're not going to do it, but can I ask you a question, sir?
You just did. That's an old one. That's an old one.
Are you going to show any just a sneak of what we may show on coming up?
I thought you were the one that always held me back from saying, "Oh, we're going to talk about okay. Oh, we're going to talk about that."
This was just me. And shout out to the Kirby Foundation. You know, you just had them on before this, and for them to donate something to Collections in Black, you know, I'm beyond appreciative. You know, Jack Kirby is King Kirby, who is the creator of Black Panther, and for them to donate an original piece of artwork to the gallery is monumental, and that's just, you know, it speaks about everything within itself. And I just wanted to say personally, I'm very appreciative of that. I think I'm speaking for everybody else. And you know, when it came out that they were offering a piece, you know, that was a no-brainer. So I just want to say now, personally, thank you.
Big Phil, they thank you, and feel free to make $100 nonprofit donation to the Jack Museum and Research Center. Okay,
150,
175. We see 175. Khalil, 200. How about Big Phil? How about tomorrow night YouTube Black Comic Lords channel? They
changed it to Wednesday. That was good, Kazra. That was dope.
Big
that
Phil,
was
let's run this. Let's get Big Phil. How about Wednesday night?
Wednesday night
at the Black Comic Lords YouTube channel.
For sure.
We reveal something that makes people go, "Oh, okay.
Here we go.
These guys they're not shooting from the free throw line."
For sure. Yeah. For sure. All dunks.
Alley-oops.
All done.
120 FPS slow-mo.
Oh, this dude been reading up on his cameras. Go ahead, Kazra. FPS is frames per second for those who don't know what he's talking about. So that was we got way too technical there. I apologize.
All right, guys.
Yep.
All right, guys. So we got a little work to do, but it's all falling beautifully together. And Bill, please, sorry, I just want to make sure we cover some basics. Really have to thank, you know, I've talked to a lot of collectors, and Bill, of course, made sure some of the art dealers like Mike Berkey and Anthony and a few others. I've talked to Bashara, everybody. I talked to Rich Donnelly and his brother in San Diego. Everybody has been awesome. They've just been they've been like, here's what I got, and we were like, what? Where did they didn't hide anything. They're like they're glad for it to be part of it, and you know, you'll see their names as contributors during that weekend and afterwards.
Want to give a shout out to Sean too, who hooked us up with a lot of different pages as well. So yeah, I want to give them a personal shout out as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if we forget anybody, you know, that
just means you didn't do enough. Yeah.
It's not what I was going to say.
I know Phil was not going to say that.
That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say charge it to the head and not to the heart.
Step up.
There were a couple. Never mind. Hey, but speaking of stepping up, I got my feelings hurt yesterday.
Oh yeah, they did all the.
I didn't know if that was going to come up during the show or not.
A lot of people made money yesterday gambling on that game, so they did step up. It's always good when a team folds over and lets some gamblers make some money.
Oh, man, you were a fan. You were cheering. You were hopeful, but you're good about expectations, right? So
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Central Pennsylvania. Oh, you got your expectations go from here to here.
Listen, it's real.
I'm born and raised, so I can say that. So.
Oh, that's right. Happy Valley. We got Penn State over here in the
back. What happened to us?
And Cox, you from Ohio, right?
I am. Yeah, Northeast Ohio. So I can't talk about the Browns, but I got Ohio State still going on, right?
Yeah,
you do. Yes.
I guess. So
who likes them?
And you got the nerve to mention. You said the Browns? Y'all are always trash. Always.
They have
I haven't seen a championship, so
I think they have an Achilles heel problem, that team. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at one point they moved to Baltimore and things changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
They won one right after that.
Don't do that, man.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that.
It's okay. It's okay.
We got a historian. He's right.
I'm a Bears fan, right?
Wow. Y'all ain't did nothing since the Super Bowl shuffle. So I know that.
Khalil, how'd that happen?
That's right. So I actually lived in Chicago till I was 9 years old. So
what years were you there?
So I was there 80 through 89.
I moved there in 80.
Yep. I was a kid. I was a kid when they won a Super Bowl. I was a kid when Michael Jordan was drafted.
Okay.
Yeah. My favorite baseball player was Andre Dawson for the Cubs back then. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So I'm a Chicago 1A, Arizona 1B, right? So I'll root for Arizona all day, but if they're playing my Chicago teams, it's a different story.
You were there at the same time, Khalil. I didn't realize that. 82 I moved to Chicago. That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, guys. Oh, Giancarlo pops his head up and goes, "Hey, come to Club Lago in Orleans in Ontario. Spend some money on my spaghetti and all my terrible booze." Malort.
Mm-hmm.
Giancarlo is coming.
Yes, he is.
That was very cool. That was cool. I gave him some shit over text, but thanks, GC.
Nice.
All right, guys.
All right.
I think we're wrapping it up. We got, we've got another segment, and then can have a cigarette and a sandwich.
Wow, that sounds disgusting. That sounds disgusting.
May have
not at the same time, Phil. It's not going to be at the same time.
May have a cigar.
Sandwich first, then the smoke.
Cigar. We got to do the cigar. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. All right.
Bill will join us for the cigar.
I will. It'll be my first. I've never had a cigar, so.
Well, let's get into see if you puke.
Swisher Sweets don't count, right? Because I had one of those, I think, when I was in high school back in the mid-'80s.
You're starting to sound like Bill Clinton, but no,
that is crazy. Bill,
I didn't inhale.
This Swisher Sweet? You didn't inhale the Swisher Sweet?
Oh, man. All right, guys. We're going to have a blast in 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks. I can't wait. We are ready. And, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Talk soon. See y'all. Bye.
Oh man, OAX can't get here fast enough, and I know that there's somebody else in the green room right now who shares that sentiment as well. So
yeah, the lifesaver, the lifeboat, the angel above, the singing.
Oh yeah, hey Tatiana.
Incredible.
Counting how many hours I've been working, and I'm like, dear God, no wonder I'm so tired.
Yeah, I know, Tatiana. The thing is, this is as bad as it gets at CAF. And if this is the worst.
Oh, I know. The good thing is I'm used to this. It's not my first rodeo. So
yeah. Yes. So Tatiana has, on top of all the other stuff, has insisted rightfully that we add another event to the show. So the stage is yours, Tatiana. Please just talk because we're sick of talking.
Sure. So a lot of you probably remember we talked during Comic Art Live about the doing a Magic the Gathering event at the show. So when the Marvel set was announced, a lot of art collectors, comic collectors were like, hey, I've heard about this game. I've never really cared about it, but now I care. So I'm working with some folks. We're working with Cool Stuff Inc., who's a great Florida-based gaming store. Our own Carl Choi and Newell have been helping. So with a lot of help and putting some things together, we're doing an event on Saturday night of the show. It's right after the art auction. I'm going to be completely dead on Sunday. It's going to be a day.
Yeah.
So it starts 20 minutes after the art auction. It's going to be in the South Penthouse. That's right, Stingray. You are helping. Sorry, I used your name, not your Stingray name.
He doesn't respond to his normal name actually anymore. Yeah.
Poor Newell.
Yeah. So you get used to those nicknames and they just stick forever. So So about 20 minutes or so after the art auction ends, we'll be heading over to the South Penthouses and playing Magic until about 12:30. And the event is designed for anyone. So it doesn't matter if you are brand new and you have never played Magic before, or if you're coming back to the game, or if you play every week. It doesn't matter. It's for every level. And we are providing, so I have just a couple things to share. This is actually one of the things that Stingray sent me, which was cool. So everyone will get a playmat. The playmats are all different ones, but I just wanted to share this one. The art on this one is actually done by one of our guests, Dave Palumbo. So thanks Stingray for donating that. And then everybody will get a deck to play with. This is just an example. There's a deck. This is a deck box. This is one of the things that Carl donated. There's a whole deck in here already. So there'll be different types of decks, but people will get a deck and a deck box. We have different things you can, we have some of like the learn to play Magic stuff for people who are brand new, all the way up to Commander decks for people who have been, playing before, since Commander is the most popular type of Magic to play these days. So everybody who comes is going to get a playmat, dice, a deck to play with. Everyone's also going to get prizes for coming. So the first thing is, I see that Bill has the print brought up. So one of our guests, Jason Engel, allowed us to use this art. This is the card Deification. The character on there is Elspeth, who's a popular Magic character. And this print is limited to only 50. So the event is limited to 50 as far as giveaways. If we run out of stuff and you still want to come and hang out and play, that's totally fine. But we'll have all of these goodies for 50 people. It's a lot of amazing stuff. So make sure you come by. We're all going to be hanging out and having a good time. And then, of course, you can get Jason to sign your print for you on Sunday when you go back to the show and see him there. And this will be 11 by 17. So the same size as the other show prints, but the only way you can get it is by coming to this event. So I mentioned that everybody who comes will also get a prize as a thank you for coming. So we'll have a lot of different stuff. I'll have singles, packs, dice sets, other things. And then we are going to have 2 of these. So Carl donated one, and then I'm donating one as well. So this is one of the Marvel sets. This is the Black Panther Secret Lair set. So there's multiple cards in here. So all of them from that set. And there are 2 of those available. So the prizes will be like a random kind of raffle. All the prizes will be good, but we'll have 2 of those in addition to it. Alberto, we'll be kind of like in the same area. So we'll be about 8:30 to 12:30. So essentially, as soon as the art auction's over, we're all going to kind of walk over and then start. And so you can do both. We have a window so that people can come at any time during the 8:30 to 12:30. Some people might show up at the beginning and play the whole time. I just want people to know it's first come, first serve. So I don't know how busy it's going to be, but please come. Even if we run out of stuff, we'll still have, some things we can still play and have a good time. So make sure you stop by at some point. I'm also going to be grabbing some snacks and drinks from Costco the day before. So we'll have some things to munch on there. Feel free to bring stuff. You're allowed to have alcohol and things up there as well. So feel free to do that.
Sorry, Alberto. We're just so sorry that you don't know what to do. Oh. We've done our job.
You can do both. That's why I'm saying there's this window, and I understand that there are overlapping things. You can do both. So you can either come play first and then go to Miller's, or you can go to Miller's first and have food and then come play. So that's why I'm making the event long, so that people can do both things. So
right, how long is the Miller's thing? Just I don't recall if we got a time set with them as of like a time.
It's going to start at 8:30, but Jason D'Ambrosio is going to go out right around 8, so people can start trickling in right after 8, and then probably officially till midnight, but it's open till 2.
Okay, so people could go to the Magic the Gathering for an hour or
yeah,
two, and then still head over to Miller's. They won't miss out on anything. They can do both.
The reality is you should go to the Magic one first, because there's only a limited number of decks. But if you get a deck, don't get a deck and walk away, or you're going to get punched in the face by somebody.
Okay? Oh yeah, we expect you guys to play.
Need to stay.
If you grab something and leave, I know who you are, and we probably know where you live.
That's right. We know a lot, and those windows don't open, but we can make them open.
Yes.
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 I figured, Tatiana, some people are just going to be hungry. That they're going to end up going to Miller's for food and then just staying, and then maybe they can wander in later and just have some fun. But so the only thing they'll miss if they do it the other way around is they probably won't get a free deck. That's all.
Yeah.
That's
No so
you can still
we
play
just
and
want
learn.
you to come. I mean, please come. And we will, we'll have enough stuff between those of us who are there just to play if you miss out on stuff. But that's part of why I'm getting snacks and drinks, is that I don't want people to be in there starving. You know, we're going to have eaten some food at the auction, but there's a good chance people are going to want other stuff. So I'm not buying like full meal, but I'll have like snacks and drinks. And then of course people can, you know, get DoorDash or whatever as well. That's really easy to get. So, so whatever works for people, but there is plenty of time to do both, because that's a pretty large window. You could go to Miller's, order your meal, eat your meal, hang out, have a couple drinks, and still have plenty of time to go play. So, and
I know that Maureen is going to actually be working. She said she wants to do the Magic the Gathering event with you, so she'll be there at the start and probably through most of it.
Yeah, excellent. And you know, Stephen Walborough will be there, and I think he wants to play, and he's going to do a draft kind of thing. Tatiana too, right? And my girlfriend Kelly is definitely going to come with her deck. I might show up because I've always wanted to learn to play.
Yeah, we have, and we're trying to put it so that people can play a lot of different things. Cool Stuff Inc. is also donating some pre-release boxes from one of the recent sets, so people can do like sealed, where you just open packs that you have and make a deck out of it. Draft is where everybody gets a certain number of packs and you take a card and pass it, and then you build your deck that way. So there'll be a lot of different ways to play. And then we literally will have beginner box sets that are just for teaching people the fundamentals. So every possible range, I'll be personally bringing my commander decks to play as well. I know that Carl told me he already has like a Captain America deck put together that he's played a couple of times. I'm going to have some cards available for people if they want to just have those for deck building and other things as well. So we want it to be as varied an experience as possible, while still, you know, allowing people to have a lot of fun. And if you're a player and you want to come and hang out and you want to help teach people, please do. We definitely need players to come and help to teach people. You don't need to be, you know, an expert or a judge or any of those kinds of things. It's just about having fun. But we want to be able to pair people up and have a good time. So please come. We are really putting a lot into making this event successful. And if it's successful, then, you know, we can definitely keep doing stuff like this. So
Tatiana, while I remember you're going to go up the South Tower. The top floor has 2 penthouses. So you walk out of the elevator. On one side is going to be Magic the Gathering, and on the other side is going to be the card breakers and card art collectors. Are going to be breaking boxes and live streaming till 3 a.m. And the doors are going to be open. You can go from Magic to card breaking and meet those people and go back and play Magic and go over and look at the card people. Yeah. So it's going to be, it's going to be nerd. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah. And because it's all at the hotel, you can like run down to your room if you need it, like whatever, and then you can come back. And I know that a lot of the card guys are coming, and they're planning on coming right away. So if you want to make sure that you get a deck and everything, I would recommend erring on the side of coming to this earlier if you can, because I can't guarantee how long things are going to last. It's already quite a stretch to get 50 of everything. It's been an experience.
Plus, we expect the secondary market on those posters to start at $200 each. So get your butt there.
Get your butt there. Although we don't know. No, we don't advocate for any secondary markets because that's
never.
No. And no, I'm not going to get any sleep at all. It's going to be rough because I'm going to be going from show to auction to Magic. So, but it doesn't matter. That's one of those kind of days where sleep is not important. I'll get it later.
Will there be a designated poo-poo area? Asked the Canadian Tony Perna. Tony, obviously, your designated poo-poo area is the diaper that you wear everywhere that you call underwear. You're fine, my friend. You're always with the safe space traveling with you.
There is a bathroom in the penthouse, and also you're in the same hotel as yourself. So if you can go poop in the secrecy and privacy of your own room, you could even shower so you're not stinky. We might request it.
That might be a requirement. Oh boy. Well,
Tatiana, Sunday, 9 o'clock for the exhibitor floor, 10 o'clock open doors, and it shouldn't be too much. So you'd be able to sleep a few hours, at least.
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. If you can't find me on Sunday, I might be laying on the floor under a table somewhere.
Well, we'll ask Joe to take a photo of it. We'll see.
There we go. I might be propped up in a corner somewhere. I'll be like Weekend at Bernie's.
All right, so that's awesome. We got How to Play Magic. Very, very cool, and definitely complicating to my schedule too. Yeah, we might need a third day eventually.
I
it's unavoidable.
So we can actually get 4 hours of sleep a night versus 2.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
Maybe we make Friday a full day. We're already doing a Friday thing, so maybe we make it longer.
So there is one more special gallery, and that's the Card Art Expo. CAX has a special gallery, and Jose and Steven are working on it now. We've had some good talks about it, and they are really getting some people to donate some art for it. And when they have a little sense of that, because it's just coming together now, it'd be cool. Bill, I'm sure they'd like to come on and maybe talk about it for 10, 15 minutes on a Thursday night too. Yep.
Right, exactly. And it will be in this location.
It'll be there.
There's actually a dividing wall between here for this door and that, but the special gallery for CAX is going to be located right there.
Right. And then we should just mention that there'll be one more booth on the main show floor near DeTullio Art Collective. And I think, if I remember right, next to Hakes on the lower left there of that main exhibit hall, there'll be a booth with all of the auction art in it for previewing it. So you can spend as much time as you want going through it and write down lot numbers. And if you do that in advance, it'll just mean that you'll have more time to drink on the night of the auction. Right?
Yeah, very true. And they'll be able to download the whole auction suite of lots onto their phone, so that they will have a clear image to look at there. We've got a big screen TV that'll be showing the images as well. So we made some upgrades for the auction that I know everybody's going to appreciate. There'll be a QR code right on the back of your badge that you can scan while you're on the auction floor to pull up the list of auctions. So
I'm sure, Bill, you'll have like an entire auction 30-minute whatever segment on Thursday night coming up here. And Alberto, the floor plan will be out soon. There'll be a QR code on your badge. You'll be able to bring it up at the show at any time. Same with the auction, like Bill just said. It should run better this time.
Yeah, it definitely.
And Alberto, you mentioned earlier about signs. Bill's been working on that, and we're definitely going to have a lot of good signage so people know where all the different special galleries and everything are.
We're going to put Alberto's phone number on it, so if anyone is confused about something, they can call him
for directions. Oh man. Well, we do have one other announcement we have to make before we sign off here.
That's right. The best for last. We should have probably started with that. If anyone has stayed this long, God bless you. Wow.
Exactly.
You're going to be lucky because this is a big one.
It is. And there's we have a pre-OAX announcement to make to close out the show tonight. And there's only 5 opportunities available. So unfortunately, if I can't turn it off after 5 or submit it, I'll let you know that you were 6, 7, or 8 or 9. But I'll do my best to stop it at 5. But we did find out yesterday from talking with Jiggy that SAWI is actually going to go ahead and accept 5 commissions for OAX, and they're 9x12s. I'm putting the link in the chat. I'll also show off just if everybody knows Sal's work. I think you've seen enough of the streams we've done with Jiggy and the next comic art crew. So I guess I should hide that logo for a minute. Right, there we go. There we go. So they're $500, 9x12. You've seen the work that she does. I think, we've shown off a few mystery sketches of late. So these ones are clearly more finished, than the ones that she does for the mystery sketches, but just solid work. Everybody loves Sawi. And she wasn't sure she was going to be able to take a list, but she is able to take 5. So $500 is the price on these for the 9x12s. And she will be doing work at the show. These are the ones that'll be guaranteed, and you'll be able to pick up when you arrive. So thank you to Jiggy and Sally for allowing us to kind of present this to everybody. And yeah, that's our last announcement for the day.
That's exciting. Her work is fantastic.
Yeah, no, agreed. The girls have actually gotten a couple Sally pieces in their collection. So I haven't gotten one myself yet, but yeah, she's wonderful.
Her work, I mean, the work in person, that was at New York Comic Con. I finally got to see a lot of it, but and even more shocking was Ellery Santos's work in person is unreal. It is unbelievably good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, very true. I haven't posted that piece by Ellery that I got yet. That homage to Cassiday's cover. I'll have to get that on CAF today. But yeah, so everybody, it's less than 2 weeks until the show, and we're excited. Exactly.
We're excited, but we're a little nauseous. But we're excited.
We are. But the good news is a lot of the stuff is already done, but there is so many other cool things that we've got ahead of us. But boy, I'm excited to present OAX 2025 to everybody. I know that Kazra and Tatiana are as well. This is
I am too.
These things don't happen in a vacuum. There's so many people. We just like talking with Big Phil and Khalil. So many hands have had their hands on getting the show to where it's going to be. And yeah, that weekend's going to be a celebration of everybody's hard work and the supports that we've gotten from so many different factors out there. But boy, I'm ready for the weekend to start. Can't wait for it to be
I'm
here.
very excited to meet Big Phil's mom.
Yeah.
She sounds like an amazing woman. I'm looking forward to meeting her.
Yeah, he's bringing his daughter too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And he's doing stick figure drawings for $15, 2 for $20 on the floor. So all right. So all right. Well, let's we call it a wrap, right? We've got a few other things to tackle, but thank you everybody for tuning in. If you got any questions, most of the links are in the show description. If you need to look up anything about OAX, it's all there. And if you got any questions in the lead up to the show, shoot an email to info@oa-expo.com and we'll do our best to answer them as quickly as we can.
Tatiana, stay on, okay? Stay on just for a minute, okay?
Oh, geez. Here we go. No.
Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your set.